Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the new SKC podcast. I'm Chris Walsh.
I'm Andy Patton.
And we have got Sensei John Gardiner in the house. How are we doing, John?
All good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
You're welcome.
Good drive up today?
Easy, yeah. Nice and easy.
So, let's roll it back then. A young Sensei John Gardiner. Where did it all begin? Or how did it start, should I say?
So, I think it was 2000 I started, and my dad had done karate before with Sensei Ticky Donovan of Ishinru in the past, like before my time. And I sort of showed an interest in doing it, and someone at school went to karate, and I went with him, and that was kind of it, really. He used to train me at home quite a lot, my dad, so we did a lot of pad work and this sort of thing, so that helped to really accelerate my progress, I think. Because you know how important it is to do some stuff outside the dojo.
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And it's, yeah, we did a lot of work, and yeah, I loved it from the beginning, really.
Yeah. Who was your first instructors or instructor?
So it was a husband and wife, Alan and Carol Parrish of Westwood Shotokan Karate. I was with them until my first dan.
Were they in like a particular organisation or?
Yeah, it was the UK TKF. So it was part of obviously the World Federation is the ITKF.
Yeah.
In the UK, it was headed by Kawasaki Sensei.
Yeah. So you took your first dan with Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I was quite young. I was sort of 15. I was 15 actually. Yeah, but I trained a lot all the time. So to me, it was no big deal actually, to be honest. And that sounds a little bit. Maybe it sounds. Weird or something, but I was doing 8-9 sessions a week anyway, so for me it was just kind of going through the motions in a way. And
were you supplementing, like obviously like you got your dad like training you at home, you were obviously training with, at your club, were you doing like other supplementary training as a kid, like running or anything like that?
Yeah, I've always done extra bits really. I was heavily inspired by Bruce Lee when I was young.
It seems to be the theme. Yes, it seems to be the theme on the podcast.
And it's kind of not my. I'm 36. So I'm actually a little bit after that, to be honest. You know, a lot of people were inspired further back than that, really. But I used to watch the films and stuff, and Jackie Chan. You know, the old kung fu Chinese type of kung fu ones, and all the training montages and stuff. I used to be inspired by that, so I'll be doing all the kind of sit-ups and all the weight training and everything alongside that. I used to read the books. I was really, really into it, you know, and I'd do everything. Yeah. Everything I could do, I was doing.
No, spot on. Did you? So was your dad like a bit of a taskmaster as well? Then on you, like when you're training?
Yeah, not too bad, to be honest. Not really too bad, but just kind of refining techniques and stuff. Really, more like I said, more on the bag, on like the kick shields and stuff. Just sort of because that's something that is quite lacking. And I still believe is quite lacking. Is impact work and that. I do loads in my dojo. I think it's really important to almost, we can only punch and kick the air so much and understand how the technique's meant to work before we have to start hitting something,
Absolutely, yeah.
So as a kid, then I suppose that's sort of been in a major part of my training since then. On the punch bag, out in the cold freezing garage, on the kick shield and stuff. Just kind of working on how to land a maigiri and things like this, which I think is.
Yeah, I mean, you can only teach it so much, right? Like you say, kick in the air. You need to know that it.
The first time you kick and you smash your toes up a little bit, innit? but it takes time, and I think it was really beneficial to have supplemented it like that, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that we've like implemented here, isn't it, as well? Like a lot with the kickback, the freestanding kick bags and stuff and everything. It's just those like little, I don't know, like what was. Like you say, like might be missing from back in the day.
Well, you look at other. I mean, we get criticised a lot, don't we, compared to other martial arts, especially on social media, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of maybe I'm exposed to it a little more because of that, but it seems to be all the time in the comment sections of videos. Oh, this is better than that. Karate's whatever, but it's how you train, isn't it? Because karate is not karate. Karate is different depending on where you go. You go to one dojo, it can be one thing. You go to a different dojo, it wouldn't even look the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my karate, sometimes you could say, look, so like kickboxing or Muay Thai, hitting the bags and knees and elbows going into the bags, but it's all in our kata, so it's nothing new. But a lot of dojos don't have this. It's just constantly hitting the air and
Again, you've got to keep it. I imagine, like, obviously, teaching kids and stuff like that. You've got to keep it. You need to keep it like fresh and exciting for them as well. Otherwise, if you just do it like if it's just monotonous, like up and down, then they're not going to stay, are they?
They get bored, don't they?
Absolutely, and there is of course a benefit to the sort of self-discipline that can be gained from doing that Ki-on, and and the refining of your technique and being kind of conscious of your technique and responsible for your technique as well. And maybe that's a bit much for children, but I still try and teach the kids in a similar way to the adults. Thinking about where your foot should be and your knee and your alignment of your stance and your punches. But again, the quickest feedback comes from hitting things, isn't it? The quickest way sometimes to teach the child is get them to hit the bag. This is why you have to have your shoulder rotated in, or this is why you have to do this and that. You have your front leg straight in a front stance and try and punch the bag. There's nothing going into it. So it's kind of the quickest way, I think, sometimes to teach people.
Well, it's either there, like if they haven't got a tight enough fist or their wrist isn't locked.
Absolutely, thumbs on the inside, all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it gets it across. It doesn't always, but that's the intention, right?
Yeah.
But so obviously now we'll come back to you like being like an independent, but obviously 2014 passed your first dan with Sensei Kawazoe. What was the sort of, did you have a plan after that, or because it's like some people usually they get there and then it's like this lull of like, I don't know really like what to do now, like, as in they feel like they've reached the goal, but as we all know, you're just literally like a good beginner at that point.
No, I just love training really. It was just back to the dojo the next day, and that was it.
Just crack
continue,
on.
Really. Nothing changed, to be honest.
So what led you to go and train with Sensei Ticky Donovan?
Well, I did relatively okay in competition, and I wanted to do more. Progress that a little bit, because there was not really an avenue there's not really anywhere to go within the UK TKF. It's not a massive organisation, it's. And I just wanted to compete at a high level. So I went to a few open competitions first, and lost. And sort of it was like an eye opener because it was different. Really different. It was.
Were you like one of those? Can you like from even at that age, and obviously losing, which we've all been there, has all happened to us. Would you say you're like quite good at like going back and analysing that and like progressing?
Definitely. I think so. That's kind of been my strength in a way. I can reassess the situation and come back, because it was like everything to me. It was my whole life. So there was no. So I lose, I have to come back and win next time. I couldn't just kind of give up or something like this. So I'd have to find a way to win. And then Ticky Donovan runs a summer camp where he did. It was like a week-long training thing. And I went along to that and trained with all them and actually won the competition that time. It was a kata, nice. Men's kata. I was like 16, so I won that and obviously got to know some people there. I went on my own, so it was kind of quite a big thing, I suppose, to go.
And again, like what age you'd have been,
16 at the time.
16, I mean, it's still like a big thing there, going to like say that like a sort of karate summer camp, thinking, well, I ain't going to know anybody.
Exactly, right. It was like it was probably 140 or so people there, maybe 100, something like this. It was quite a big thing. England national team, I'm talking WKF England national team, people like Wayne Otto, numerous times world champion. These were the sort of coaches there that were running sessions. So for me, it was like a whole different game,
Was it? Did it seem like a strange thing going from like being in that organisation and thinking, all right, I'm going to go over here to this other organisation, or was it? You'd say like didn't even really give it a second thought,
I mean, I would. My intention was to do both together. Unfortunately, I wasn't given the choice to do that. But so I mean, I was basically asked to make a choice, and I made the choice in the way I wanted to go. I was 16 and I wanted to compete, so I went that way. With Ishimuru for that period.
Yeah, it's a shame, that associations will do that. Like, put that, at 16, you have to make that choice. You just want to do karate, right? You want to just be the best you can be.
I was still training both ways, so whatever, that's gone. That's in the past, right? But nonetheless, it was a good thing for me, because I obviously did relatively okay as well. I got to the England national team after doing so. But yeah, it was completely different. It was like a whole another level of competing in karate, really. Not necessarily karate. The karate was no better as such, but it was kind of geared towards that winning in the competition. And I'd never really been in that environment where it was about that so much. It's just whatever traditional is, but like a normal Shotokan kind of. I'll use the word traditional. Yeah. Dojo, where we kind of just went and trained and stuff, and then to go to somewhere where then you go somewhere where you got like world champions and people. I know when we had Sensei Matt Price come and do a course for us, like he was telling us all about like Ticky Donovan. I says like I've heard the name, I know of him, but I was like how good was he, and how good was his training, and he spoke really highly of him and just said it was game. He just said it was a game changer. Definitely, it's like I was winning medals and stuff at the nationals of in the UK TKF, and I thought I was good, and then I went there and I was not good. There was no way I was way out. I think the first competition I went and came. In the Kata, at least, I came like 11th out of like 15 or so, and I was like, I'm not used to that. I think I won. I think I came second the next time, but it was. And then I went to the British Championships and got a medal in the first one. And like we said earlier, I kind of assessed it and knew what I needed to do, used that kind of level up in terms of the training, and did it really.
Yeah, it's. From like that, what would be the sort of like the differences if you were saying like from, I don't know, like the traditional side of things that you were doing to then going like the WKF for people that didn't really know the difference between the two?
So what I would say is my karate, my foundation, I believe was made in the Shotokan. Yeah. My original sensei, it gave me a really good base, and I'm always pleased that that's the way I went. My karate was made good as a result of that. Yeah. But I actually think I learned how to fight in the other one. It was getting, it was different. It just felt different. People were trying to punch you in the head as opposed to the more kind of
just close.
Just close and that. And also not just once, but coming over with a barrage of punches in the head. Kind of. I mean, in Ishimura it was hard. You was. Some good hard fighters there, so it was good to be in that, and I think that taught me a lot of things, to be honest.
Was it one of those like obviously when you knew you'd got training there, if there was like a squad training that it was like the nerves, like even going to training?
It was it was just different, It was nerve wracking sometimes, to do that, but it felt more real, to be honest, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I mean real in terms of fighting real. And I competed in Kata, so actually, I've always trained in both. But the
you say like Kata was like your speciality. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I also competed in Kumite as well a bit. I kind of don't like the point sparring so much. Right. Like I said, like going back to when I was younger and I was training on the bag, and I'd never trained in a point way. I always trained almost like a kickboxer, just hit it continuously, hitting the bag, hooks and knees and all this kind of thing. So it kind of doesn't really suit me so much to be doing the darting in and out type stuff, which I suppose is Shotokan. So maybe, am I even doing Shotokan? Who knows, right? but nonetheless, it's the Kata sort of suited me a little bit. But yeah, in terms of the fighting, I think that's where I learned how to fight. Yeah, definitely.
It's I'd have loved to have met Ticky Donovan. To be fair, like I say, all the things I hear about him is just it's just a game changer.
It was, and not just him, but everyone around him at that time as well. It was good to be surrounded by that kind of level. They're all former champions and all this kind of thing, and was from a time that was harder as well. Was
there anyone like in particular that like either would have taken you under their wing, or you feel like really helped spur you on, like other than Ticky, like maybe someone else that was competing and things like that there?
Not really. I mean, I had people that I competed against. Right. I've always kind of stuck to myself with it really, and just did my thing and looked for inspiration from people, but also did my own thing as well. Really, I would say.
So I got down, obviously, under 21s European championships for the WKF in 2007. Whereabouts was that held?
That was in Turkey. That was my first selection. Yeah. and that was under Sensei Ticky as coach, which was good. In the warm-up room, putting me through my paces, and again, different as well. So,
I mean, again, I imagine like getting to the Europeans and seeing that level of competition there is like just
it's another level.
It's a variety.
It's kind of like this kind of being closed within the sort of smaller group or whatever, and then you see something else. It levels you up, because if you're only used to seeing what you are used to seeing, you know, and that is it, you get exposed to something else. It just brings you up immediately, doesn't it? Almost, you can come back to the next session almost, and you're better. Kind of in a way, you know, mentally a little bit better. You've kind of been inspired, you know, and that's what I kept getting. You know, go to the European juniors and go to the senior Europeans and the senior worlds, and you just every time levels up really, and I think it's important.
So when so obviously you've been there, and you've then graded with Ticky. Was it something that you wanted to grade, or was it something like they'd sort of like Ticky would say, I think you should grade, you know, or it's like is grading like a real like a big motivation of yours, or is it's just one of those things like is there as like, I don't know, like a, not a test, but is there just something there to like a goal to set yourself if you want to do it, you know? People look at grading in like different ways.
Not really, to be honest. I'm not worried too much.
No.
I mean, people had suggested to me that I should grade, and I was a first dan at the time, and he actually graded me to third. Mm-hmm. And to the best of my knowledge, I think it's the only person he's done that with to date. So I went from first to third. I was never a second dan. I went from first to third dan. But
very nice.
I mean, nice. I've done plenty of time, because obviously I'd come from Shotokan and gone into Ishinryu for a bit, for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So I'd done some time, but I'm not really motivated by that.
That must have been like you know, a big honour, like to know that he's never done that with, you know, with anyone.
That was one of the best feelings of, you know, better than winning a competition in some ways, because it's coming from someone you respect like that, and being recognised, you know, kind of for what you've. Yeah. Sometimes what you feel like you're not being recognised for, and then you are, you know. It's quite nice to have that.
No, I think I was just having this conversation with someone the other day, just saying like being like you're saying, like, you know, you really respected Ticky and everything like that, and then for him to you grading, and then he sees you at that level. Like I think me and James were on about it on the way here as well. That, you know, we know people that like older guys, younger guys, you know, that first, second dan, but like in our eyes, you'd say they definitely got the quality of someone who's like, you know, third, fourth dan.
And of course on the other side, you see people who are seventh dans that are not so much seventh dans, right? And
especially if you watch McDojo Life on Instagram.
Yes, but you know, it's I'm not too worried about that. It's nice. It's nice if it happens and when it happens, but it's not something I chase. Yeah. To me, it's about my karate. What I do.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, does it? If I have a sixth dan, does it make a difference? Or a fifth dan, does it make a difference to me? Probably not. Yeah. Probably not. You know, it's good for you.
Your karate does the talking, doesn't it?
Yeah. I like to think so. Anyway.
Yeah. So I see, like in 2011, then you started your own club.
Yes.
And so, like, was that just like a sort of just a conscious decision that you just thought, right, I want to start my own club, or what was it? Or you're thinking like, right, I want to do karate full time. This is, you know, what was the sort of factors that led to you starting that?
I think it's something I've wanted to do maybe for a while. You know, I think a lot of kids think that, don't they? When they're young, they get a black belt and they think, oh, that'd be good. You know, maybe I could do that one day.
Then they see how hard it is.
Yeah, of course.
Decide not to do it.
Yeah. But you know, it's I didn't know what I wanted to do as a career, really. I actually went to university, but I went there almost to kind of delay going to work so I could compete still, you know. I wanted another few years of competing for anything, all this kind of thing. So, yeah, just kind of, I wanted to do that sort of thing. It came into it. It wasn't intended to necessarily be my full-time thing at the time, but it's kind of gone that way, so it's good.
So and then that's what you do now, you're full-time, just like full-time karate.
Yeah.
Living the dream then.
Yeah, well, it's not. Yeah. Sometimes it's a dream. Sometimes, as you say, it's hard work, right?
Yeah. And I see that. So I mean, have you? I think I saw online. Do you do like a bit of teaching with like kids with special needs as well? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Just tell us a bit more.
I saw someone on Facebook. I think his name's Ray Sweeney. He does a lot of work with that sort of stuff, and I thought, it was interesting. And I messaged him and sort of saw how it would go about, and we met up, and he sort of took me through it a little bit really. And I went up to Oxford actually and did some sessions with him there, and we sort of went to some schools. He set me up in a special educational needs school in my area in Southend. So I was teaching them as part of their kind of PE syllabus for a number of years, karate. Probably 50 kids on a Tuesday morning, in 5 groups of about 10.
Is it like all disabilities or mainly like autistic? Or
all kinds of things, everything really, all kinds of things. And then as a result of that, I thought to take it outside of the school, because obviously there's other people that might want to do it as well. So I have a session on a Saturday morning now where it's kind of open, people can come to that.
Yeah, fair play to you.
I've also now got a student who was not in a wheelchair and is in a wheelchair now. She's just come back from the Europeans last year in the wheelchair kata and got a bronze medal. So
fantastic.
She's she's done well.
Yes,
it's amazing.
It's about adapting, isn't it? It's about being adaptable and making the karate fit you. This is a big thing that I talk about quite a lot really, is making the karate fit your body, because she cannot possibly kick. Right, so how can you expect her to, in a grading syllabus or a competition system, she can't kick. So we have to adapt it and have something different, I know we're going on a little bit off subject, but
it's good.
And this is where I'll go into a bit of a rant with it, really. But I get people in the messages and the comments saying, "Oh, that's not how you do this. You must have this. This must be at this angle and all this." Why? Maybe my body doesn't do that, and maybe my hips are different to yours, and what if I only have one leg?
Yeah.
How do I do a front stance like that?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the karate has to be, if it is going to be for everyone, as people keep saying all the time, it has to be adaptable, isn't it? And
100%.
Doing free.
Absolutely.
100%.
That is the one. That one thing is like, so and so does it this way. He's like, yeah, but I'm 6'3". Get basically a gangly giant trying to keep hold of my limbs in the best of times. I'm trying to do it and it is. I think you're they do. I think when it's depending on either where you're training or whatever you're doing, you're sort of like that program that you're doing it wrong. It needs to be like this. And when I was saying to you before we started this, you and Adi Gray talking, since Adi Gray, I was just totally on board with that. It's like, my body does not move in that way. Like Andy's has got a problem with his hip. He can't physically do these things. Like there has to be a way around that.
So then people would say, so are you not doing karate then? Of course you're doing karate, right?
Yeah, of course.
And when people say, I've even had comments. I had the woman in the wheelchair in a video, and they're like, you can't do karate in a wheelchair. Well, she's doing it. So what do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's probably doing it better than a lot of people. So it is what it is, isn't it?
Oh, the thing is, I imagine, like your good self of having a good social media following, you're literally just getting every troll in the book.
All corners.
That's the problem, isn't it? You expose yourself to kind of you put yourself in a bit of a vulnerable position, really, to be judged, and everyone's got an opinion. Yeah. Everyone thinks they know best.
Yeah.
And I never claim to be saying what I put out there is just what I like. I don't care if it's right or wrong to anyone else. It's for me. If it helps somebody and they think, I like the way that's done. If it improves them, then so be it.
Yeah.
I had a message recently, and he was like, this is not correct for the JKA. I'm not in a JKA. Yeah. So what's got to do with me?
Yeah. What's the point of that? Yeah. Why are you troubling me with this?
And he said you've got a responsibility to sort of, there's a lot of people that might be in a JKA. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
You've got
a responsibility.
They can watch anything on the internet, and it can adjust their karate. They do what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a responsibility to your karate. And to your students.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. And it's but the problem is everyone has a different view of what is correct. And to some people that are doing Kyokushinkai, they will say something is correct, When I get comments from Muay Thai, but we'll just kick your front leg in karate. Yeah, but all right, what about hip throws? You don't do hip throws in Muay Thai. So the rule sets are different, and it's all different. Boxers, your hands are not up.
It's just, can't we all agree that every martial arts
there's no need, is there? No need for rivalry.
It's everyone sees it from their own view, and to them it's wrong.
Yeah. But every martial
Without
art, I just look at every martial arts has got its place, and if you're doing whatever, then cool, you do what you do.
Absolutely,
we'll do what we do.
Definitely, yeah.
Like we're saying about body movements. I mean, training with James or his brother Sean, like James's ankles move like to me, those flexible as like someone who's Japanese, and you're like, how do your ankles do that? I'm just saying, like. I can't work it out.
Of that as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing. My ankles are not great, really. I've tried to do loads of work to try and improve them.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing else about it.
Yeah.
So it's, is that wrong or not?
I mean, I think I did see either one of your videos, like online, because I know like you do quite a bit about, obviously, because you lift weights and things, and then like again, like I had it myself. I think like when I had a break, like when me and my wife had kids, I had a break and I thought, right, karate's on the back burner for a bit, and just was like going to the gym, just doing like some powerlifting and stuff like that, conventional free really, and everyone was like, oh, you won't be able to do karate again. That's it. Like you're too big. Like you at the time it was like, well, you've put too much muscle on here or there, and you've stiffened yourself up and stuff like that. And I was like, in some instances, they might have been correct, but it was like nothing that couldn't have been sorted out with like more stretching and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was.
And it's like seeing your good self now, like seeing your videos. Obviously, you lift weights, but then seeing your karate, you can still move. It's
it's not affected me, to be honest. Yeah, the effect has been positive. So I think being stronger will improve any sport, won't it? Whatever that is, golf or anything. Strength is never a bad thing to have, not in terms of only performance, but injury, being resilient to injuries and this kind of thing. Just being stronger is better.
Well, I definitely agree with that, because it's, I mean, my one of my brothers, he does like world's longest drive, the golf, and like every one of his exercises is like lifting weights from A to B almost as fast as you can. As you can go, and it's, you wouldn't think that. I remember, like, I don't play golf myself, but like, I was like thinking, right, you had like deadlifting some serious like weight here. Like, is that gonna?
It's just absolute strength, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
The more kind of absolute strength, as they call it, that you have, the more you can then transfer into movement, can't you?
Yeah.
You get like people doing, say, squats. I'm trying to think of an example, to be honest, but like people are doing these kind of functional type movements where they're like squatting on a ball or something, or they're balancing, whatever. If you have an overall better squat in the first place, that movement will be stronger, won't it? So just basic exercise, squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, these kind of things. If you're stronger just in general, everything else will be stronger as a result. So when you then get into your karate stances, if you can squat 200 kilos or something, then your stance is going to be a lot easier, isn't it? And stronger.
Yeah.
So
you should have a certainly good, strong base, like.
It's I mean, a lot of the problems that I find when I'm teaching people is weakness, I suppose. The inability to get into not get into positions, but to generate power. It's I'm talking people who are untrained, from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's important to develop a level of strength as well, isn't there? Transferable strength or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you find it like with even like you can find it with the kids that you're like, look, we need more power. Like, again, it's like you'll say more power, but then like trying to demonstrate that to them of like what does that mean? What does that mean, or what does it look like? Like trying to get that across to them of like what that looks like.
Definitely,
yeah.
But how do you generally deal with like the criticism that comes your way, like on social media? Then, like, is it just like, or because I know like some people literally just won't read the comments, or they'll just turn it off now, because it's just why subject yourself to someone's ramblings.
I kind of like to engage with people because I think it's a good platform to be there and answering questions and things, and a lot of people, to be honest, it's mostly positive, really. But obviously the bad ones stand out to you because you see good ones and you think, oh, that's good. The next one's, oh, that's good, yeah, whatever. Next one, you're doing this all wrong. And then in your mind, you're like, oh,
am I?
Yeah, what's that about? Yeah. But you've just gone through 10 good ones saying, oh, that's really good. Yeah. But in your mind, it sticks.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Like the mind tends to remember the negative more than it does the positive.
And in that same way, you do a video of something and, you know, one little thing's pulled out of it, you know, and that's what they want to say, isn't it? You know, oh, your left finger, you know, your little finger was out by 22 degrees. Oh, okay. All right, okay, you know, but, you know, what about the rest of it?
Yeah.
You know, it's,
just
but
have a day off, mate.
It used to annoy me quite a bit, and I suppose it doesn't really anymore, because I just know generally people are idiots, right? On the whole.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know.
If they, I mean, I see it on, I mean, yeah, like I'm probably on like a few, like the karate social media groups or something, like on Facebook or whatever.
Same.
And you just like, it's like the same people like all the time. They're going, oh, well, so-and-so didn't teach it this way or that way. It's just like, oh, mate, just have a day off.
The
like,
regulars.
But it's I just don't know what drives people to actually comment like that. Because if I watch something I don't like it, I'll move on. Okay, in my mind I think, oh, that's not very good, and then I move on to the next one. But to for something to affect you enough to be like, I must tell them that they are wrong, and I'm right. You know, I absolutely must. And sometimes they kind of miss the context of it as well. You know, it's like I might be doing an exercise and they're like, that's not how you do my washigiri. I'm not doing my washigiri. You know, this is not what I'm doing, and you've just missed it. And it's like, you know, and sometimes you look on the profiles and they've got no business criticising. So you know, it is what it is. So
but just still on the theme of like of social media, was it? When did you sort of like first start like pushing like on social media, or thinking like this is the way to go to either get your content out there or get yourself seen, recognised?
I don't know really a specific point, but I used to quite often put competition training videos on, you know, on like a normal Instagram, not like my current one now, but I'll just do bits like that because why not? I used to film all my training anyway. I used to just put bits on there, you know, as people do. And then I put some on YouTube and left them for about 7 years. And one of them had like quite good views, actually. It was sort of quite good. And I just think no one's going to kind of promote you. We spoke about this a little bit before, you know, people don't want to push you forwards, you know. So you kind of have to do it yourself. Forward. And I've always not done it because I've always thought it's the wrong thing to do in karate. We should be kind of like modest and humble. We should never do that. You know, we should stay.
I think that's. I mean, Sensei Simon Blythe was in last Sunday, but we sort of said like that's almost like, dare I say it? Well, we said it like almost like a cool aspect of like karate, where it's like, it is. Don't do that because we're the only ones with the magic.
It's true.
The magic's over here.
Yeah,
but you know, you can't do that.
Yeah, you've got nothing worthy to say. You know, only we can say. You know, and I kind of got over it now. But I used to. So I kind of got to a point where no one's going to promote me anyway. Yeah. So I have to do it myself if I'm trying to. You know, my club was my job then at that point. You know, my business and stuff. So I'm running it. It's
generally
like my job, right? So, and if you just are an obscure club in the middle of nowhere, you know, I'd finished competing and stuff. How else do you get about? You know, how else do people find you? Yeah. If you're not in a big organisation, you're kind of independent or whatever. So this is it really. So I started doing some things, and it started going well. And then
your Instagram's flying by the look of it.
Right, so many followers, and your Facebook as well.
It's all right.
But so I was just saying, obviously I've seen you usually have a few. Is it Nat Hearn is in your videos, and he seems to be flying.
He's doing really well. He's doing really well. He's got.
Is he a student of yours, or is he just pals?
Yeah, he's been coming to my dojo for about 7 years. Yeah, he's good. He does his stuff. He's got slightly different content to mine, a little more comedic kind of angle he's got going on, which is it's good.
I can see that he must like get some absolute. I bet he gets some absolute comments as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, everyone does, you know. Yeah. But you know, it's different, isn't it? I'm older, so I don't think it really fits my personality too much. But he's doing really well.
It must be nice as well, though, like when you've got a student like that as well, right? That's just excelling and doing well for himself.
He competes as well for England, so he's got that as well going on. So that's all.
Is that with WKF?
Yeah.
Spot on.
He just won the Commonwealth Championships actually. So
nice.
It's going all right.
Top man. Maybe we can get him on the podcast sometime.
A few notable names as well.
Does he teach as well, or is he just basically trains for himself?
He does a little bit sometimes for me, but I do all the teaching really.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, he's training. He's always every session. So he's there.
What was it? So obviously I've seen that you got a fair bit of competing like under your belt. What was it like? Coming to either making that decision and saying, right, was it you just making a conscious decision saying, yeah, I'm done, or was it injury, or? No,
it was me. Yeah, I was just fed up with it really. I was bored of it because I got married and I had one child at the time, little baby, my daughter, and I just thought I'm just chucking money away, money away at this competition thing, and it's I just didn't enjoy it anymore. I enjoy the training. I've enjoyed the training more than the competition anyway, but there's a lot of politics involved, as you probably know as well, and it's just, I thought like I'm too old for this, I don't want to be getting involved in dramas and
I can totally relate.
All this stuff, it's, just get on with your own thing. And
I think kids excuse me. I think kids like obviously put that into perspective though, right? Because I was the same, like been here, there, everywhere, and, going to competitions, and then it was we're expecting. It's like, I can't do that anymore. Then it was a conscious decision.
It's kind of taking money away, isn't it? I mean, the competition schedule in the WKF especially is heavy. You got to go to all these K1 events and then the European and Worlds, and then you got to go to squad training every single month and all this. It's just a lot of money, which.
Did you ever get any like assistance? Like, it was the same. Like
nothing. No. I got funded 2 times, and they were funded by the countries that were hosting. So
right.
We went to Qatar and did an invitational thing, and they paid for us to go. The Qatari Federation, and we went to Paris for an invitational as well, and the French paid for us. So that's all we got in terms of.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But the English Federation did none.
No,
unfortunately.
It was hard. I know, well, Sean, who you'll meet in a bit, obviously he's on squad at the minute, but I think that's like round about like once a month, something like that. But down in Westminster, absolute mission to get to. I did the same, but when I did it, it was like every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I was just really, then we was fortunate that there was someone else on the cadets that is like, Dad gave us a lift and be like, but I'd have never been able to like do that at the time because like financially it's just.
It's hard, isn't it? Because to compete at that level, you have to do that.
Yeah.
But the other countries that are competing, at least in the WKF, not every country, but the countries that are winning at least have funding anyway. So you're competing against countries that they haven't got to think about the things that we have to think about. Maybe. They can just train, and you're thinking about how you're going to pay for the competition. Going to Turkey or France or wherever you're, Hungary or wherever it is. And you're thinking, and it's like. You're getting an invoice from the federation a week before you go, and it's like, you've got to pay this, and it's like, and the other ones are getting it paid, and it's So for me, the decision was to just go on holiday instead. Take my wife and my kids. I've got 2 kids now, so it's just more enjoyable. I shouldn't be saying this on a karate kind of podcast, right? But it's just going on holiday. I just much prefer.
No, but but if like when you're like yourself, like karate is your life. You're doing it day in, day out. Like you need to have like anything.
Like a switch off.
I'm an hydraulic engineer by trade. Family business. The pressure of that. Anything like you need to be able to switch off and have some downtime. You've got to.
It's just nice to. Basically, what I'm saying is it feels wrong to be taking money away from them going on holiday to going for me to compete in a competition. What is it all about really?
Totally.
So whether you win or lose doesn't matter anyway. Nothing happens. You don't become rich and famous or anything like this. So
not in the karate world.
So it is what it is. You have to sort of sometimes make a choice as what's the priority really.
Do you miss it at all, or no? Is this like no?
Absolutely not. No, not at all. Not one bit. No.
I found it like really difficult. I think I'd start off with when you made that decision, because it was like you'd get people obviously around you naming like no names in here or in there that would be like, God, you still got like a couple left in you or whatever, and you're like, no. I think like once you've made that conscious decision, you have to be like, no. That's
you have to have that kind of the drive and stuff to compete and do that. My drive has changed. I've changed my drive into my own training in different ways, really. So it's not like I don't have that kind of edge of competitiveness, but it's just with myself now, really.
What is it that you know, like, what are your sort of like goals now? Would you say, like, with your karate and?
I don't really know, to be honest. It's a difficult question. I just keep moving on, keep progressing, and just keep learning. Really, just enjoying it is the most important thing now. I mean, the competition came with a lot of pressure, so it was like not so much enjoyment a lot of the time, you know. So now it's kind of nice to just enjoy doing what I do. And I do a lot more kind of Kumite or sparring type stuff now than I did while I was competing for England in Kata, at least. I mean, I've always done both, but it's more that way now. You know, I like to explore a new karate for me, almost like a close quarter type stuff and applications to katas differently. More not realistic or whatever. It is what it is. You know, nothing's realistic really, and just like that kind of stuff. Really, just have a different karate. Yeah. And it should always, in my opinion, it should always be developing, shouldn't it? Your karate. If I'm doing the same karate I was 10 years ago when I was competing, I've failed really. You know, so for me, I just want my karate to keep growing and changing and being whatever it becomes.
See that you were appointed like the assistant national coach for the EKF. That must have been a great honour to do that.
You'd think so, yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, and it's sort of. I sort of finished competing, was offered that position there. It was what it was really. Yeah, it's not a lot of thanks for it or nothing like that really. So a lot of commitment again, coming out of my pocket, and you know.
Oh, it was
again, really, yeah. So I packed that in as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the same problem, right? I'm still travelling away and doing stuff.
Just differently.
You know, so
true.
It's nice to have done. But maybe under different circumstances it'll be better.
And did I say that you do judo, or you did judo?
I did a little bit of judo. Yeah. Not for a very long time. Maybe I can't remember exactly. It was less than a year, but it was some. You know, I went and competed in some kind of regional one. I can't remember what it was now, but like a middle region or something, and did all right. Yeah. It was good fun. To be honest, actually, I much preferred competing in judo than karate.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the result is more definite. Yeah. You know, if you throw someone, then you throw them. Yeah. You know, or if you pin them down, then you're physically grabbing someone and doing something to them. You know, but obviously in Kumite, it's kind of down to the judge if they saw something and if it was convincing enough or whatever. And then Kata, of course, is very. It is what it is, and it's an opinion again.
One of my good karate pals, he sort of like got a bit disillusioned like with karate, and he does judo now, and he was saying that it was like one of the best things he's ever done was like going to judo.
It also changed my karate quite a lot as well. You know, you see a lot of things in Kata now that I didn't see before. You know, what I would see as striking all the time, and the movements you're doing, it's sort of judo movements. I see quite a lot in there, which is good. Again, like I said, it's just growing and changing my karate over time, really, and that's what that did.
Yeah. I know a few people that have done like I'd done both almost like side by side, and I do like the look of judo. I think
it's good. It's good.
I think it does. I mean, obviously you do your weight training. Do you do anything else that, like you would say, complements your karate? Like we have a few people that like do yoga, and I've even we have yoga groups that use the hall here, and I've had yoga people like come in before and just go through some stretching and exercise, I suppose. But I'm a big believer. I think that yoga is really good for supplementing the karate.
Yeah. I used to use it as part of my competition training actually. The gym that I was at had a yoga session there, so I used to go and do that once a week or twice a week in the lead up. Now I just use it in my warm ups actually for karate. So I don't go to a structured yoga session or anything like that, as I did back then. But I incorporate things that I've taken from it that I found the most beneficial, and use it in my mobility type work.
Yeah, I feel like the mobility. I mean, I've had a few suffered with like bad backs and stuff like that. And my wife's a bit like, she loves yoga, and like she's like, right. First of all, it's like, right, I'm going to get the yoga book out. There's these stretches here, and I'm like, absolutely no way. Like that is going to sort my back out. I'm like in bits here. She says, no, I'm telling you, do these yoga poses. Literally a few minutes, you're just going to feel a difference. Did it, and it was like I had to stand corrected. Never good when you've got to stand corrected to the missus, but like it's it really opened my eyes up. That was what opened my eyes up to.
I think, like we said earlier, innit, just supplementing it with something is good, like anything really, because obviously the movements of karate are quite repetitive in the same planes of motion, all this kind of thing. just having different types of movements and like yoga, just using those kind of mobility type drills and stuff to kind of just make your movement more free and more relaxed, in fact, because relaxing is quite an important thing that I think people lack in their karate. They're trying to be too stiff and heavy all the time. And that comes from doing different things sometimes, I've got students that dance as well, dancers and stuff, and they can help the karate, footwork and stuff.
I think one of the instructors that had a big impact, like on my life, Sensei Phil, that we had in the early days on the podcast. I'm sure it was like a dance or even like ballet. Dare I say that he did as in a younger age, and he still says that was. He was as supple, as anything.
Ballet dancers are strong, aren't they? Flexible and it's not that dissimilar to karate, is it? In terms of some of the movements they're making, at least. I mean, obviously technique's different, but raising the leg up high and doing the things that we would kind of benefit from in karate is the same, isn't it? And core strength and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's a big thing. Like all the kids always moan. Like when I always finish a class, because I always have to finish it with core strength. I don't know, it's just what I was always brought up with. But you can see all the groans and everything when you bring it up. But it's got to be a must within the karate, isn't it?
It's I think for the kids it's even more important, isn't it? Because they have not got that foundation yet of strength. I mean, we could set them up really well for a good future in karate or anything else. Not even karate, just generally, innit? Bodies and stuff. If they have a good strong kind of core and do the exercises in karate or whatever, just to set them up long term. Something else I did a little bit of work on was long term athletic development with like kids. And it talks about that sort of stuff, building on certain skills like agility and balance and coordination, and I think core strength is a part of that as well. If a child can do sit-ups like you're doing at the end or whatever you're doing, planks and all this kind of moving core type strength stuff, they can do most things good as well. They'll be able to play other sports and be good at them.
I think like there's they'll all be whinging. I would say, look, I'm 42. Like, why are you whinging? I should be like crying over it. But it's. I don't know. I mean, what did I say? Like, what's the biggest sort of thing you get out from teaching the kids? Would you say?
I think it teaches you. I think it makes you better, doesn't it? Your karate better, because you're teaching. You have to think of many different ways to say the same thing. Like when we spoke again earlier about that everybody's different. So everybody takes things differently as well, and trying to adapt things for everybody, it kind of really grows your karate yourself, doesn't it? And I think it really helps to have that. And again, this goes down to that thing about maybe not being part of a group that is controlling my teaching. I can teach however I want. And if one thing works with the children, then even things like I'll just sort of make up an example, but say we're doing Agyuki or something, if I find that they learn it better by doing a single arm block to start with, and then we introduce the parry in the middle later, maybe maybe we do that. I'm not saying that that's necessarily something I do, but it helps you to adapt and be really adaptable, I suppose.
Definitely.
I think
it's just good. I think seeing the growth. I think you'll see one of the young lads that'll be training with us that this afternoon. He's Josh. What's he got to be? He's got 10.
Josh Mitchell.
The most very quiet lad. But if he wants to speak, he will ask you a good question. He will. And it's he's like. Yes, you wouldn't expect it a lot of the time, would you?
That's another thing, isn't it? Kids disciplined. Asking you stuff, isn't it? That adults wouldn't ask. Why are we doing this? Why? Why do we have to do that?
Kids just they say it how they see, don't they? There's a lot of the time there's no malice or anything there. It's like, why?
Why? And that's the best thing. That's something
because it makes you think as well.
It does
definitely. I've said it in quite a few of my videos, really. But ask questions all the time, innit? Always ask. Why are we doing that? Why should the back foot be? Why should the heel be on the floor? Why? If there's a reason, then good. And if the reason for you is good, then that's good. And I think that's a great thing with the kids, isn't it? Like you say, they just ask anything. Why? What happens if they do this? Oh yeah, that's a point. Yeah. What if they do that? Then you got to think, and it really it challenges you, doesn't it? A little bit.
It does, yeah.
But I think we're getting close towards the end. I know Andy's usually finishes off with a few just like quick fire questions. Don't literally.
There's no time
don't feel like the questions is don't feel like there's no right or wrong or whatever. Like just say whatever's the first thing in your mind.
Yeah. So are you ready?
I have to be. Let's go.
Okay. Question number 1. Favorite kata?
This could be a discussion itself, couldn't it? Favorite kata changes all the time.
Right now.
Sochin.
Okay.
Good.
Favorite kata for bunkai?
I like the Heians as a set, to be honest.
Wow. All 5.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want Heian Yondan.
Yeah.
Heian Yondan, let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite technique to use in Kumite?
Ashibara.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, you're gonna lie to it, John.
Finally. Best male competitor
That you've like ever seen.
Ever.
Is
Past, present, future, whatever.
Whatever.
Whoever you want.
I don't idolise people, I don't know. I don't know. I've no answer for that.
Fair enough.
No worries.
Okay. Best female competitor. You never know. You never know, do you?
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay.
In terms of, what should we say, kata then?
Whatever you want.
Let's say kata. Let's go.
Yeah.
Rika Usami from Japan, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And a 5-person Kumite team. So anybody who you want, male, female, past era, present, whoever. You can include yourself as well.
I'm done with competing, like I said, right?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Okay, let's bring in some of the old ones then. Let's go with Wayne Otto.
Okay. Yeah.
Dave Hazard.
Yes.
Ooh, nice choice.
Yes.
Elwyn Hall.
Oh, now we're going.
Oh, goodness. What a team. What a team this
Well, we've got
is.
3 so far, yeah?
We have, yeah.
Let's bring a modern one in, shall we? Let's go for Agaev, Rafael Agaev.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that 4?
That's
That's
4,
four,
yeah.
one
That's
more.
4. One more.
Let's chuck in Lyoto Makido as well.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Goodness.
Good choice.
What a man.